Another leak occurred at today's meeting between Ripple and the CES. Believe me, it's crucial this time. Lawyers and Ripple's CEO have stated that the case may be resolved this week. I think that's quite awesome. Naturally, it altered the anticipated outcome. Some speculate that XRP's price may rise to $2,500 or more. We should take things one step at a time. Take in the entire video. Let's get straight to the point and omit anything else. Take note of the disk. The legal dispute between the SEC and Ripple, which was among the... It has been discussed extensively, and it appears to be coming to an end, though not quite in the manner that many had hoped. Ripple took that action, and the CCC is anticipated to follow suit. Captor Finish said on Twitter, XRP won Zeitz, making people in the community feel hopeful. The situation worsened when Jack the Rippler said that the SEC would close the case this week. At first sight, it appeared as though the last curtain was ready to be drawn. But there's more going on behind the scenes. One that isn't influenced by dubious transactions or sudden shifts in sentiment, but rather by the quiet, steady wheels of the bureaucratic process. It's not as thrilling as the tweets and news reports suggest. Former SEC Regional Head Mark Fagel claims that the CC's internal operations are the primary cause of the delays and have little to do with payment negotiations. According to him, the Commission is still carrying out its internal duties, which include composing letters, having them reviewed by other offices, and scheduling votes with its commissioners. These processes cannot be rushed or skipped. Fagel was straightforward. The timescale is primarily determined by internal processes, as opposed to the current discussions. There was a lot of discussion about receiving a response as soon as possible after the July 17th closed-door meeting of the CC. Fagel immediately made it clear that these sessions are regular and always have the same public purpose, regardless of what is said behind closed doors. Lock Twitter believed that a choice was on the horizon. Additionally, he claimed that that day no one was even discussing Ripple's case. It was easy to understand. Reading by itself and making plans can just leave you feeling disappointed. Sometimes the market demands clarity quicker than the federal government, which moves at its own speed. When Ripple was fined $125 million, even more questions were raised. This was interpreted by some as evidence that the matter was closed. Fagel clarified that cash, not XRP, was used for this payment. Although the matter is still pending, this payment does partially comply with the court ruling. Ripple's decision to withdraw its appeal earlier this month was a significant step, but it's just one aspect of the problem. Because the planned closure procedures have not been completed, the case is technically still open. This is the extent of Ripple's efforts to resolve the issue. The essential components are there. The court battles are ended. The CC is supposed to do more, even if it paid the fee. But we're still unsure of the time. One side won't take its time acting. Until you follow all the guidelines and verify everything for yourself, that is not possible. Fagel was sure of one thing. The process doesn't stall. It requires time. XRP users have experienced long wait times and stress. There are a lot of ideas generated by each new tweet, payment, or motion. But you won't get the full truth via social media. When it arrives after following the correct procedures and being verified by an official seed message, there will be no noise. It wasn't hinted at in a post. The case between Ripple and the SEC won't be a clean break. No matter how much we want it to end, it will end the same way it began. One by one, each document must be signed until the final one is finished. Crypto experts are making wild predictions about XRP, suggesting that the real fun is about to start now that the legal dust is settled. The battle between the SEC and Ripple is nearly done. Believe me, you won't be ready for what they predict will happen. See if XRP is truly going to soar and discover why everyone is so excited. Those who have been waiting for this moment for years shared Steph's sentiment when she tweeted, "XRP can't stop pumping." Now seems to be that moment. In a positive way, alarms are going off. According to some, XRP's growth is currently exploding. A major shift in the market structure might propel it far above its previous highs. Mix recently improved long-term XRP charts by MetaWarrior. According to him, the asset has emerged from a 10-year logarithmic growth channel. A large vertical ascent appears to be about to begin. Let's talk about the break. Finally, we can say that the price has surpassed the 340 psychological and historical resistance zone. Many believe that this is the highest point in XRP's history. The price of XRP is really high right now. But it's not just the quantity that makes it special. This is not just a local pump. It can be the beginning of a long price-finding process. When you do the math, it's hard to argue that XRP won't make people happy. XRP has now left base 4, the final stage of accumulation. Years of moving in both directions have led to this. In 2017, the same thing happened. In less than a year after leaving base 2, XRP had a major surge of about 60,000%. Consider this also if you believe that this time will be different. The market value of XRP recently surpassed that of McDonald's. You heard that. Whale Insider tweeted that XRP is now worth more than McDonald's. So it's worth more than the largest food chain in the world. It's no longer a small object you hope will come in handy in a case. It is a major global competitor that has the power to destroy Fortune 500 companies. Things start to get really chaotic at this point. Analysts like Aminex predict that XRP will eventually trade between $22 and $30. According to log-scale objectives and previous fractals, an estimate can reach $50, $70, or even $100. These objectives have nothing to do with opium. When XRP grew exponentially in the past, it followed these same patterns. And if those trends hold true, things will get much stranger. Shield predicted that XRP would reach $500 very soon. Everyone who loves cryptocurrency was stunned by this. By the end of 2025, XRP will be worth $2,500 per share, according to a very smart man. And XRP Dragon is now disseminating a graph that indicates that the price of XRP could skyrocket to $100,000 per share. That sounds strange at first, but in the world of cryptocurrency, crazy things often happen, especially when they're supported by time, hype, and math. Not only are costs rising, but the narrative is evolving. XRP is no longer referred to as the coin in dispute by the law. This is the asset that escaped both the public and the authorities. It is now returning with powerful technicals and institutions' attention. The fear of missing out is now more prevalent than the fear of being afraid. It was suggested that this could be the last when the price of XRP is below $10. Stay put. We also have to talk about the people with whom Ripple works. Ripple has been improving behind the scenes. This has to deal with adoption in the real world, globally. If you're not feeling hopeful now, this is the beginning of a financial shift. Have faith that Ripple's current revenue could transform the world financial system. If you have XRP, make sure not to miss this section. According to Paul White Gold Eagle, XRP is the king of the world in money. Although it sounds awful, it's not too far off from what might happen. People are really considering how to use XRP and Ripple as key components of the global banking system of the future. The discussion has changed. According to a recent report by Lay Worldwide, a company that handles legal entity identities to help institutions meet international regulatory criteria. New publications and more institutional discussion make this evident. Lay shared a comment made by Smoke with several people. It says that Ripple's blockchain-based payment network expedites international currency transfers. It's less expensive and more stable. And nor is this just an idea. According to the white paper, Ripple's technology